Tyler Wilhelm. I'm a renewable energy developer for NextEra Energy Resources and the project developer of the Crown Ridge and Crown Ridge 2 wind energy projects proposed in Grant, Coddington, and Dual County, South Dakota. Presentation today will give a brief summary of the regional development that we have proposed in the area, and then get into the granular detail of the application that has been proposed to Grant County. Bear with me, we made some last minute revisions here for the presentation because there was some technical difficulties, so try to make this as smooth as possible. Tonight's agenda, we'll go into our company, who we are. As mentioned, we'll talk about the regional development in the area, the proposed development in Grant County. We'll go through the project timeline, discuss some of the community benefits tied to the project, and some conclusions. So getting to know our company, three major core values that we express at NextEra Energy Resources and take very seriously. First one being our commitment to excellence. That picture on the bottom left there, that gentleman works in our FPDC department, the Fleet Performance Diagnostic Center. That is located in Juno Beach, Florida. It's one of its kind in the industry, and we're able to monitor and act as needed on every single one of our operating turbines across the entire NextEra fleet. The purpose of this is to be proactive versus reactive, being able to see stuff in real time, deploy a wind technician to address the issue before maybe having to mobilize some bigger equipment to fix the issue. Second one being doing the right thing, living up to our commitments and acting with transparency. We've been out here for a long time now, and as the largest owner and operator of our sites, our outfit and our company is here to stay. So we must act accordingly if we want to be good neighbors and within the long-term relationship. Third one being treat people with respect. These projects aren't built overnight. We've been out here since 2006. A lot of us on the project team have become members of the community ourselves. So acting with the golden rule, treat people as you want to be treated, goes a long way with us. Also, we would not be here today without the landowners who are part of the community out here, and they're one of the most valuable assets we have within our projects. You have the parent company, NextEra Energy, and then the two strong business units, Florida Power and Light, which is the in-state Florida public utility comprised of about 5,000 employees. And then you have us, NextEra Energy Resources, the #1 generator of electricity from the wind and sun in North America. So we are an American-owned and operated company, harvesting in the American wind resource. We have investments in 32 states in Canada. Those green dots you see scattered, I know they may be a little bit hard to see. Those make up roughly 130 wind facilities we have within North America. 3 of those dots are located in South Dakota, where we currently have 3 operating sites. And in 2017, we're the world's #1 generator of wind and solar energy. So going into our regional development, as mentioned earlier, we started out here in 2006. At that time, we set up our wind instruments and started engaging members of the community to gauge interest. We found out that there was a very reliable wind resource out here, and the feedback was great from the community. So we continued with that process for many years. Fast forward to 2012. That was when a big accomplishment was made in the state, where the couple MVP transmission projects were put into place, the Big Stone to Ellendale, Big Stone to Brookings line, which allowed for South Dakota to be able to harvest the wind resource up here, generate that energy, and benefit from all the tax dollars that come in from that. Next, in 2017, the big milestone was being able to execute 2 agreements with Excel Energy, one for Crown Ridge at 300 megawatts, and the second one being for Crown Ridge 2 at 300 megawatts. Those check boxes on the right, that's kind of a high-level developer checklist. Without those 4 boxes, you really can't get these projects off the ground. And the last one would be the process that we're going through right now, which is local and state permitting to support the commercial operations date for the projects of December of 2019. This snapshot here encompasses the regional development. So you'll see our footprint spread across all 3 counties there. Comprised of roughly 266 turbines at 600 megawatts. We'll have 3 different GE model turbines, GE 2.3, GE 2.1, and a GE 1.7. The allocation as proposed currently for the turbines is roughly 164 in Coddington, 68 turbines proposed in Dual, and roughly 60 total proposed in Grant County. I want to make note that this application in front of us today is for roughly 32 turbines. For those of you in the room who are familiar with the Cattle Ridge project, formerly owned by Geronimo Energy, that is the footprint in the most northeast part there, which is part of our regional footprint and not the subject of today's review. Here's a snapshot of Coddington County. Roughly 40,000 acres participating. That also contains 2 collector substations where the energy will be collected before going along the roughly 34-mile transmission line. We received our conditional use permit in Coddington County July 16th, 2018. Next picture here is a snapshot of Dual County. Roughly 19,000 acres participating, 68 proposed turbine locations, and we received our special exception permit in Dual County October 22nd of 2018. And here is a snapshot of Grant County here. So within the boundary you see on the screen there, you'll notice 2 different colors. The blue outline is the Crown Ridge project boundary, and the black outline is the Crown Ridge 2 project boundary. The 32 turbines are comprised of 30 GE 2.3 megawatt turbines at 485 feet tall. And then we'll have 1 model of a GE 2.1 and 1 model of a GE 1.7. There's also roughly 32 miles of overhead transmission proposed in Grant County as we work from the center of the project all the way up to the project's point of interconnect at the Big Stone South substation. Let me see if I can zoom in here for everybody quickly. Here's a breakdown of the Grant County ordinance as it stands today and some of the proposed changes that have gone over, that have been discussed over the past several months. We are not new to that process. We've been through the process in Coddington and Dual counties as those ordinance revisions were put in place. We took the decision to sit back, listen, see what was being proposed, and make recommendations or answer whatever questions we could to help the process. Those 2 processes were completed in Coddington and Dual. We were able to meet and or exceed the newly proposed and now codified ordinances in both Coddington and Dual. And here we are today looking at the snapshot of the Grant County ordinance. Current ordinance at 500 feet, proposed change at 1,500 from participating occupied residences. That's something that we could definitely meet and or exceed, and in most cases it's going to be larger than that due to noise and shadow flicker compliance setbacks. Non-participating, same story, can absolutely meet and or exceed that. Municipal boundaries of 1 mile setback that's now proposed. That was something that we had incorporated into our development plan several months ago at the beginning of the ordinance revision process. And then the flicker analysis is definitely something that we can meet and or exceed. And same goes with the participating noise level and non-participating noise level changes. That's something that the final site plan will definitely reflect. Project, 2 minutes? 1 minute? All right. Project timeline, I'll speed it up a little bit. We're going to be permitting through 2018 and 2019. Construction will commence in the spring/summer of 2019 with an operations of starting the 1st of 2020. Community benefits, this is a $1 billion investment in the state of South Dakota. Roughly $90 million will be generated in property taxes. 7 to 12 full-time local jobs created and increased local business. I do want to note that molded fiberglass, several months ago when we heard that they were potentially closing their doors, we were able to satisfy a purchase order from them, which will prolong the employment of those employees for the next 12 months as they supply those components for the project. Is that my alarm clock?
That's your alarm.
All right.
We will now begin the proponent testimony. Staff will read your name. Please come up to the table before making any comments so we can get your testimony on tape. You'll have up to 3 minutes to make your comments to us, the board. If you have any questions, staff will write them down and ask them when the hearing is closed. To avoid repeating somebody else's comments, we ask that if you intend to reinstate something previously already said, just tell us you agree with whomever said it. Once proponent testimony is done, the same rules will be in place for the opponent testimony. Staff, you have to call.
The first name I have on the list is a Karen Casperson. When you come up, the microphone will be here at the end of the table. You would just point the microphone almost in a perpendicular to your mouth. It should pick up the best. The batteries are starting to wane, so hopefully it'll last long enough to get through everybody. And I will start the time upon the first word.
Good afternoon. I'm Karen Casperson. My husband is Alan Casperson, and my address is 17257 460 Avenue, Watertown, South Dakota. I'm also speaking on behalf of my sister-in-law, Karen Amundsen. Alan and Karen, or we, own property in Mazeppa Township, 465th Avenue and 149th Street, which is the Twin Brooks Road. I am in favor of the development of wind energy. We need the opportunity to be able to harvest what God has given us, wind. I know that with development can come two things, time and money. I thank you, all of you that are serving on this ordinance committee, all the time that you put into it. If you were, I need to see a raising of hands, and just for my own clarification, how many of you on the ordinance, I can't, okay, all right, then I'll just go forward. Every farmer in Cottington and Grant County has benefited from a different development over 30 years ago, the development of ethanol. That was very, very pertinent in my life as I helped my husband run the test on the 10% ethanol blend back in 1988. The only reason I bring this up is farmers today in both of those counties, as well as other counties across our state, benefit from the development of ethanol. I would hope that you will give wind and wind energy a chance for development. That's my statement.
Thank you. The next name I have on the proponent list is Chris Olson.
So I'm a consultant to NextEra on proper siting and the health impacts of a properly sited wind project. So I'm here to answer questions for the board. So I don't
Just questions?
Yeah.
Thank you. The next name that I have on the list, Jay Haley.
Right here, I'm a consultant as well, here to answer questions.
The next name I have on the list, Ben Solmig, S-O-L, right like me. Is there a Ben, or maybe it's a Ron? It says from South Shore. I got that much. Can you read that? Zolmig. I'm sorry. I was way off. There's Mr. Zolmig here.
Really?
Oh, Jesus, yeah. Ron Schmeling. Oh, I know you.
Oh, that's all right, go ahead.
Do you have any comments to make before the board as a proponent?
No.
Sorry, I had to put you through all of that. No comments, okay. The next name on the list, Ryan from Strandberg, P.E. Thank you. Is he here? You want to come and address the board? Thank you. Tyler Wilhelmy, I know you are a representative of the company, just here for questions. Joel Kustrup.
Yes, ma'am.
Chris from Sioux Falls, P-E-R-E-I-D-E-R. Maybe? What did you get out of that?
I'd call that
Kelder? Somebody from Sioux Falls here? Well,
That's
let's-
South Shore.
Oh, I'm sorry, that was from Sioux Falls. Yeah. 46781 158th Street. No comment? All right, thank you. Sorry about that. Danielle Herzig.
No comment.
I'm reading these people's names because they just said proponent on the sign-in sheet, so I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware of that. Jamie Gentile.
Just here to answer questions, Tom.
Those are all of the individuals that had signed up as proponents on the sheet. I guess we would go then to this one.
Now, is there anybody else who would like to testify in favor of this, but has not been called? Have we missed somebody? We'll allow up to 1 minute for each of you to address the board at this time. If there's somebody else that would like to address us. We'll now read the list of the opponents, for those who did not state whether they were opponent or opponent.
The first name on the list is Amy Tuttle.
1617.5 Troy Avenue in Troy. I have a copy of the map, and I'll have one for you guys. My residence is not on the map, and it is an occupied residence. I have a certified letter through the mail that we've been receiving at our address for 20 years. We've been paying our light bill for 20 years, and the Grant County sends us our mail at our residence, but it's not on there. And I believe our residence, is within the level that it goes over the DBA sound that they're referencing as a non-resident structure.
Well, let's just pause here for just a second. I missed, I was looking at something else. You said that you are listed as a non-participant?
We aren't listed at all, and we are non-participants. Our home, our occupied home, is not on this map.
Where is your home in reference on this map? Okay, this is the hatched area here. In that hashed area, the hashed area shows that this is land that is not participating.
Yes, I believe the red circles are
No,
non-participants.
the hatched area is non-participants. Anybody that's
And
residing.
the blue is participants.
No, you're reading the map. What this map shows is that everything that is hatched are landowners that are not participating in the project. So that's the first thing. Now you're saying that you have a home that's in this area that's not represented, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
You currently reside there?
Yes. And I pay my taxes to the county for it.
Okay. And what is the address?
16175 Troy Avenue, Troy, South Dakota, 57265.
Okay, I'm sorry. Now I got it. I'll start. Okay, ready to go on?
That's what I've got.
Anything else? We're going to be just, Luke's going to be doing some checking on that, just to confirm everything. All right. Next name on the list. I will note that we forgot, there's still 3 more names of our proponents, so if you want to go back to those before we continue the opponent testimony. maybe
We
on-
should finish it.
Yeah, I'm gonna come back to the, excuse me, proponent testimony. First, these individuals had signed up before, we just missed the paper. Yeah. The first name is Alan Robish. It says as a proponent, Alan Robish is what you are. Okay, well, move that over here. Okay. Jerry Burry.
No comment.
No comment. Nicole Burry. No comment. Since I got the sheet, I'm just gonna call up Alan Robish right now. Thanks. Alan? Okay, you're up.
Okay, I'm Alan Robish, 47278, 151st Street in Steinberg. Okay. I have voiced my concerns about the safety of wind turbines being sited too close to the public regarding ice shows. Want to get my name again?
Yeah, we'll start.
Okay.
We'll start all over.
All right. I have voiced my concerns about the safety of ice turbines being sited too close to the public regarding ice